Hey everyone, welcome back to Beyond Prompting. It's Thursday, August 6th, and you know what that means. Today's theme is human and agent teams, how people and AI agents are learning to work together, what's actually happening inside companies right now, and where this whole experiment is headed.
We've got 12 headlines today. Quick hits, no fluff. Some of these are genuinely exciting, some are a hard reality check, and a couple are honestly a little weird. But that's the job. Let's get into it.
Kicking us off, MIT Technology Review is asking companies to rethink organizational design in the age of agentic AI. The core argument is that org charts were built for a workforce of humans only. When you add AI agents that can work around the clock, execute entire workflows end-to-end, and coordinate with each other, the old pyramid structure stops making sense. MIT points to new roles emerging inside early adopter companies: agent managers, workflow architects, people whose full-time job is coordinating mixed teams of humans and bots. And the sharpest observation is this: the companies winning at AI aren't just bolting tools onto the existing org chart, they're redrawing how work itself gets divided between people and agents. That's a much bigger lift than a software rollout.
That's the deep structural stuff. Next up, PwC has a great one. No more pyramids. Rethinking your workforce for the agentic AI era. PwC's argument is blunt. The hierarchical workforce model is dying. When agents can handle routine execution work reliably, you don't need as many layers of middle management to move information up and decisions down. What you need instead is a smaller, flatter core of humans who direct, review, and continuously improve the agents underneath them. PwC is very deliberate about calling this work redesign, not just reskilling. And honestly, that distinction is worth sitting with. Reskilling says the jobs stay the same, but people learn new things. Redesign says the jobs themselves change shape. If PwC is right, leaders who only invest in training courses are going to wake up with the wrong workforce structure entirely.
And speaking of reality checks, Deloitte has one called the Agentic Reality Check, preparing for a silicon-based workforce. This is Deloitte's sober counter to all the vendor hype. They've been talking to enterprises, and the honest finding is that most are nowhere near the demo-level agentic deployments the vendors are showing off. The bottlenecks aren't the models, they're integration with legacy systems, data quality, governance, and plain old employee trust. Deloitte's phrase, silicon-based workforce, is catchy, but their actual message is, prepare for the journey, not the headline. Companies that treat this as a 5-year capability build rather than a 1-quarter rollout are the ones that end up with real, durable productivity gains instead of a shelf full of pilot projects.
Okay, shifting to strategy. McKinsey published The Symbiotic Enterprise, a New Model for Growth. Their thesis is that the companies pulling ahead are the ones where humans and AI genuinely complement each other. Not AI replacing isolated tasks, but AI amplifying human judgment, relationships, and creativity, while humans set the direction. McKinsey's research ties this symbiosis directly to growth outcomes. The firms that figure out how to pair human context with machine scale are seeing it show up in revenue, not just cost savings. And that framing matters because it changes how leaders prioritize. If you treat agents as a cost-cutting play, you optimize for headcount reduction. If you treat them as a growth play, you optimize for capability. And those lead to very different decisions about where to invest.
IDC is out with Work Rewired, navigating the human-AI collaboration wave. It's an analyst research piece that maps how the collaboration wave is rolling through industries: retail, financial services, healthcare, manufacturing. Their key point is that this isn't a single technology adoption, it's a rewire of how work gets done across the enterprise. And one thing IDC emphasizes is measurement. Companies need to actually track collaboration quality: how often humans and agents successfully hand off work, how much rework agents generate, how employees feel about their AI teammates, not just seat counts and tool licenses. Otherwise, IDC argues, you'll never know if the rewire is actually working until it's too late to fix.
Now, SiliconANGLE has a take I really like. Human-AI collaboration starts at an organizational bedrock. This came out of the T-Cube's coverage, and the argument is that collaboration fails when the foundation isn't there first. Clean data, well-defined workflows, and trust between teams, that's the bedrock. You can buy all the agent platforms you want, but if your organization doesn't have shared context and a culture that treats AI as a teammate rather than a threat, the agents just become expensive toys. What I love about this piece is that it flips the usual question. Everybody asks, which agent tool should we buy? The better question is our organization ready to work with agents at all? And for most companies, the honest answer is still no.
On the human side, Forbes is covering something a little unsettling: unsettling relationships developing between workers and AI coworkers. The piece looks at the psychology of people working alongside AI colleagues, and the findings are genuinely awkward. Workers report feeling performance pressure from algorithmic oversight. Knowing an agent is tracking their work changes how they behave. There's discomfort about what to say to a chatbot that's technically a peer, and managers are starting to use AI outputs to question human judgment, which creates real friction. The through line: companies have gotten very good at designing capable agents, but almost nobody has designed the human experience of working with them. That gap is where the dysfunction lives.
Government is getting in on it too. Defense One reports the CIA is rolling out AI Coworkers for its employees, and eventually analysts will run whole teams of AI agents. The deputy director framed it as pure augmentation. Agents do the heavy lifting on data collection and analysis, humans make the final calls. But here's the interesting part. This is one of the earliest large-scale government examples of humans directly managing multi-agent teams as a core job skill. That's a template a lot of organizations will be watching, because if the CIA can make human-managed agent teams work inside a classified, risk-averse environment, the rest of us don't have a great excuse.
And the biggest enterprise rollout of the week, CIO Dive is asking why Walmart is rolling out AI to 2 million employees. 2 million. That is not a pilot program. Walmart is putting agentic tools in front of essentially its entire workforce, from store associates on the floor to corporate staff. The why is pretty clear. Retail runs on routine tasks at massive scale, and Walmart sees AI as the way to absorb workload without adding headcount. The open question everyone's watching is execution. How do you train and support 2 million people at once? How do you keep a 2 million person rollout consistent? If Walmart makes this work, it becomes the proof point that agentic AI can scale to the entire workforce of a mega employer, not just knowledge workers in tech.
Professional services is going big too. HR Grapevine has the story. EY is rolling out Agentic AI across its entire 130,000 employee audit workforce, and the key word in their approach is human-led. EY is being very deliberate about keeping humans in the loop. Agents handle evidence gathering and analysis, but judgment, interpretation, and sign-off stay with people. For a profession built on trust and accountability, that's the model they think will survive regulators, clients, and the courts. It's also a really interesting signal for the whole industry. One of the big four betting its core business on agents, but insisting the brand stays human.
Okay, platform wars. The Futurum Group is asking who will control the enterprise agentic workforce, and they're warning CIOs about a new platform war. Microsoft, Google, Salesforce, OpenAI, everyone wants to be the layer where your agents live, get managed, and get governed. Futurum's point is that if you adopt agents piecemeal across vendors without a control plane, you end up with chaos. Agents that can't share context, no unified view of what's running, no consistent governance. The platform you choose becomes the foundation of your agentic workforce for years to come. So the CIO's decision here matters more than almost any other infrastructure choice they'll make this decade.
And we'll close with something a little philosophical. IBM is warning about the ELIZA effect, avoiding emotional attachment to AI coworkers. ELIZA, the 1960s chatbot, fooled people into feeling understood with simple pattern matching, and IBM argues the same thing is happening today with much more polished agents. Workers are starting to feel genuine bonds with their AI colleagues, trusting them, confiding in them, giving their outputs more weight than they deserve. IBM's advice is practical. Use the tools, benefit from the partnership, but stay aware that the relationship is fundamentally one-sided. Keep the warmth, keep the skepticism, because the moment you forget the agent isn't a person is the moment you stop questioning its answers.
That's the roundup. 12 headlines on how humans and agents are becoming teammates. The through line today? The technology is moving fast, but the real work is organizational, redesigning structures, managing the human side, and choosing platforms deliberately.
If you want this in your feed every morning, subscribe. New episodes every single day. And drop a comment if you've got your own AI coworker story. We'd love to hear it.
Thanks for hanging out with us. See you tomorrow, and don't forget the subscribe button.
Bye.